The Cold Omaha Podcast Network.
They may be drinkers, Robin, but they're also human beings.
Hell yeah, let's get Stinko.
Welcome, Giles and the Goalies Podcast, special edition Giles and the Goalies Podcast. I'm Giles Farrell. Across the interwebs from me is Ben Remington.
Hello.
And as advertised, we are doing this special edition podcast because the Adidas jersey redesigns were released tonight, and it is very on brand for us to do this special podcast because there's no chance in hell we're cramming this into Sunday's show, considering all the other topics we have to get to anyway. That was going to be roughly a 3-hour show.
Yeah. I can't even imagine how long that show would have been. I mean, it would have been, 3 hours. So you're better off just getting, roughly the same amount of time spread over 2 podcasts.
Yeah, so we split the jerseys into its own podcast, and obviously we're doing this late Tuesday night. And yeah, we got all the jersey redesigns just a little bit ago. Obviously, the headliner was the Golden Knights, which came out just about 5 minutes before everyone else did. But really, in this day and age, you can't hide things. So everything leaked about an hour beforehand.
Yeah.
And then weirdly, on the NHL's end, about 20 minutes to 9, all the jerseys went up on the NHL.com shop. So very on brand for the NHL to butcher their own show, which they weren't even going to put online anyway.
Right. That just makes it obvious to me, because it's like they set a timer for those things. There's no way that they set a timer like, oh, hey, we'll just, have all the new jerseys post on the website 20 minutes before this debut party. No one's going to notice on the internet. Who the hell do they think they are? So it just seems to me like that they're leaking things on purpose, and I don't know, given their coverage of their own events, it's probably not a bad idea.
I commented when, I think it was Wyshynski who said that there was going to be no stream of this. That fan interest in this high. Everyone had been talking about jerseys all day. What a glorious day to be on Twitter when everyone is talking about jerseys. Mm-hmm. But then again, you have the NHL just sitting there going, yeah, nobody is interested in this. Just like Cap Friendly when they commented on, or Cap Geek, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
When they commented on Cap Geek, nobody has interest in that. Yeah, okay, Gary. Whatever makes your sleep easier at night.
Yeah.
Mud. So yeah, we'll obviously start with the Wild here, and then we'll kind of run down the rest of the NHL. But you and I had kind of been getting the hint that these jerseys were going to be not bad, even good. Mm-hmm. We got excited, and then they were released, as Michael Russo kind of filled us in before the team did. But what are your initial thoughts on these new home jerseys, at least? We haven't seen the road uniforms yet.
Right. Russo did tweet that the whites sounds like they'll be similar to the current whites, actually. Not a mirror image of the homes that they just released.
So they will still not match.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? I would prefer them to match, to mirror, but it doesn't sound like they are. It sounds like they're going to be more like the current whites than anything. They're probably going to add the M patch to the shoulders and maybe do some striping to kind of match them up a little bit. So it will be a new jersey, quote-unquote, but Yeah. Anyway, as far as this green goes, I think I need some time to let it sink in. And I definitely need to see it in person to have a final, no bones judgment about it. You know what I mean? I'm sort of on the fence. We kind of got our hopes up a little bit, which obviously is Minnesota sports rule number 1, to not get your hopes up. But we thought that it could turn out pretty solid, and I'm not going to say it's bad. I don't think it's a bad jersey. I don't think that it's atrocious. Some people absolutely love it, but there's little things that I'm not crazy about. The red stripe on the arms, hooray beer, and I think the collar. All the collars are weird. Let's just get that right out of the way. Adidas. The collars just look weird, especially the teams that are using lacing like the Wild do. What do you think about that?
The laces?
Yeah, it just seems like all the teams that kept lacing, the lacing is not a part of the collar. It's like a patch on the chest almost.
Yeah, my initial thoughts in general is the collars and laces obviously just not good.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. The laces don't seem like they're really a part of the collar, and
no.
Boy, we'll get to the collars later because there's a team out there that is just not good.
I know which one you're talking about.
Oh, Lord.
Well, let me rephrase that. There's a couple of teams that you could be talking about.
But so the big thing here with the new Wild jerseys is the stripe going through the middle of the jersey on the front, key on the front, is that it's white, not cream.
Yeah.
As was pointed out. Do you hate this? Do you like this? Are you indifferent still? Do you need to, as you said, see it in person?
Initially, I'm disappointed. Initially, I would have preferred the cream of wheat stripe, as it were. But I don't know. Maybe the white will look fine when I see it in person. I don't know. Yeah, I think I would have preferred the cream. I honestly do. But I don't know. Maybe I'll like it when I see it. I'm just scratching for some optimism here. I mean, it's bad enough that the goddamn stripe doesn't go all the way around. Now you're going to tell us that none of the trim is on the jersey is cream. That was one of the things we liked the most about I guess you could say the old greens or the middle greens. I don't know, collared greens. But I don't.
Collared greens.
That's what we'll call the middle green jerseys. I don't know. I would have liked to see cream. It's disappointing. I got to say. Hopefully, I change my mind on that. Hopefully, the white stripes win me over. But without Jack White, I don't think that's happening. I'm done with the puns now.
Yeah, you really just went.
I'm hog wild. Yeah.
Out.
What do you think? What's your creamy white feeling?
That's not suitable for podcasting. Don't say that ever again. I got excited because I thought they were going to have the cream stripe through the middle, which I liked as we teased on Sunday's show, and then obviously I expected the arms to have some kind of cream stripe on it, which they do. I'm not sure how to view this red stripe that kind of runs towards the top of the cream stripe on the arms. That is really kind of throwing me off right now. I'm really not sure what to do with it. It's not as bad as the red stripe that we'll get into with Vegas in a little bit. But I'm not... I don't know. These are good, but I'm not ready to say they're the best they've ever had. And that the red NHL logo right out in the front that's also not good. Adidas really threw in the towel on these.
Yeah, the metallic NHL logo. you had to go with a metallic NHL. Like, where does that fit into anything? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Yikes.
Red stripe is beer. Now, if your friend's been drinking too much to drive, take his car keys. Give me your keys. No. If he won't give you his keys, take his pants. May I have your pants, please? Okay. Hooray, responsibility!
Hooray, responsibility!
Right?
What was that?
You don't remember the Red Stripe commercials?
No.
They used to be on ESPN all the time. I will post several.
I was too busy, I don't know, not paying attention to commercials back in my ESPN watching days.
That's fair.
So yeah, like, I'm kind of with you. Like, I would love to see them up in person, but from how it looks, we're not going to get to do that until September.
Right.
When they hit the stores.
Yeah.
But, I mean, again, as I'm going to put into my article, or your article that you're throwing together, as we both kind of comment on zone coverage, you know, it could be red. So
right.
I guess take that for what it's worth. But, and then I guess on the road sweaters, which I guess aren't going to be officially announced until Friday, at least I was told.
Yeah.
But the team kind of had an infographic on their website, which basically let the cat out of the bag on those. So
No
I'm
way.
not really sure why that they held those back. But basically they're the same thing, except the collar is weird. It's, you know, it's similar to last year where it's red, but again, it has that Adidas-y collary look, so that appears to be the only change from the road jerseys last year.
Yeah.
So thank God I got my white Devin Dubnyk jersey for $50 when they were on sale.
It's not going to look that different. Gotcha.
No.
Yeah, that I'm seeing it now on your Twitters here. Yeah, it doesn't look different at all. Just like you said, goofy Adidas collar. That's about it.
Yeah. So it's going to take some time for this to sink in. Like I was big on the alternate greens that they had been wearing, sans the shoulder pipes.
Sure.
But I don't know. I gotta let this sink in. There's still a lot of raw feelings when it comes to new jerseys.
Yeah, and I think that's what's important because jerseys have a funny way of growing on you or aging. And I think we definitely saw the aging factor with the red jerseys. And I think we kind of saw a growing factor a little bit with the other greens and whites. I think people that were critical of both of them at first when they came out grew to like them a little bit more. Whereas the reds, I think the reds were, I mean, almost universally liked when they came out.
Yeah, they were loved. People who say, nope, I've never liked them, don't kid yourself. They were liked when
You're
they first
lying. So yeah, I jerseys have a funny way of doing that, and especially when it's a rather new design as we're looking at here with these greens. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, that's kind of obvious, I guess.
And then we didn't really hit on the back of the jersey for these new ones, but nothing too out there. The nameplate is fine. The numbers are fine with me. There's obviously no stripe going through the back, so
right.
And the bottom of the jersey looks pretty similar to what the Stadium Series jersey was, where it's just a small white band at the bottom.
Right.
So like I said, can't really complain, but it's gonna take some time for it to sit in, and I wrote up something pretty similar to that for the article tomorrow.
Yeah, it sucks because we sound like super bummed and super disappointed, but I think that's just us having higher hopes. You know what I mean? Like we saw the teasers, we're like, hey, this could look pretty good. And it turned out the good elements were the only. It was like when you see a movie preview and all the best parts are in the trailer. I feel like that's what we got from this jersey.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, as a film buff, yeah.
I can write a book on that feeling.
So I just feel like that's what it was. Like we got some snippets and we're like, oh, me and you and a lot of other jersey aficionados were very excited and hand wringing and all that. And then the stripe that we liked around the middle disappears around the back. Nobody saw this whole goofy collar business coming, and then we didn't see the arm stripes, which I don't hate, but I'm not wild about them. Oh, damn it with the puns.
It's also kind of a trade-off that we had to sit through so much piping in Reebok.
Yeah.
And if the knock on Adidas is going to be the collars, I think that's a trade worth making, in my opinion.
Right. It's just like when Nike took over football a couple years ago and they had those goofy flywire collars.
Oh, God.
Those are gone now. So, and the jerseys didn't change much outside of that. So there is hope. There is very real possibilities that these jerseys will, go the way of the dodo in about 2 or 3 years. So, who knows? I mean, we'll see, but that's kind of my hope for it.
And any last thoughts on the Wild jersey before we start running down the rest of the NHL?
As far as the Wild, I don't know. Again, you gotta wait to see him in person. You gotta wait to see him. And another thing with hockey too, and I don't know that this applies as much to other sports as it does hockey. You kind of have to see him on the ice, right? I mean, I don't know if you're with me on that, but it's sometimes jerseys just look a little bit different because there's so much motion involved with hockey, and there's sometimes you just have to see him in action in order to properly enjoy them or whatever, in order to get a full feel of them. And sometimes, usually it helps you like a jersey a little bit more. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it actually does take away, but... I don't know. I think, we don't have to give them an absolute final grade right now where this is the first night. So,
right. All right. So we're going to run down the list of NHL teams. We're going to try and be brief here.
Right.
As brief as we possibly can because we're windbags, so we're naturally not going to be brief. But so we're just going to go alphabetically here down the line, starting with Anaheim Ducks. They did absolutely nothing different.
Yeah.
It's the same. They even got the damn shoulder piping. The only thing that is different is the Adidas logo on the back.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah.
Please call me Ducks when you bring back the Jade and Eggplant.
Yeah, and we saw this coming, and even though we were told that they're going to orange next year, I remember hearing that from somewhere. It sounds like the stupidest thing I think I've heard of, but kind of par for the course with that squad.
I heard that from some guy on Twitter who was going around knocking people for not liking the Ducks jerseys when the teasers first came out for not being orange. And he was literally just adding everyone who was being negative saying, they'll be orange next year. Thanks, guy. Thank you for having no time to do that.
When people do that on Twitter, it bothers the hell out of me when they just search for terms and then just reply to everyone who's tweeting about that term in whatever fashion makes them upset. Like, what kind of crusade are you on?
I wish I had the time of day to sit there and
no
add
kidding.
Everyone within a search.
It's like I have a hard enough time keeping up with my feed as it is. What the hell? What are these people?
Half of that has to do with me. Sorry.
True. Going back to the Ducks, I don't know. It's one of the worst jerseys in the league. I don't think it's particularly close. they're easy bottom 5. If not bottom 3. And yeah, I don't know. You hope for some kind of franchise slap in the face at some point, but it just doesn't seem to be happening.
Right. All right. Arizona Coyotes. Again, pretty similar to what we saw last year. They got the black armbands, which I wish they would have tossed out the door quicker than they did with Shane Doan, but what can you do?
Yeah, they're pretty much the same after they did that whole rebrand where they added black in and they got new shoulder patches. No, nothing doing there. Just straight transition, it seems like. They're just waiting to move to Seattle.
No, the NHL is going to expand to Seattle.
Okay, they're waiting to move to Quebec.
No. I don't know what's going to... Somebody will eventually go to Seattle. It's only a matter of time. Then I hope we get some kind of Seattle Supersonics mashup jersey.
Well, someone decided... I forget who it was. One of my loyal Twitter followers... I tweeted out, I was like, well, so what are they going to call the Flames when the Flames move to Seattle? Because there's that whole thread going on now. Is it going to be the Seattle Flames or the Seattle Sea something or the Seattle Supersonics? And he brought up a good point and said Seattle Sea Flames, which I really like that idea.
That's a solid idea.
Yeah.
We'll have to come back to that. One episode, we'll just do our jersey segment as imagining a Seattle team jersey. All right, Boston Bruins. Again, really no change. Kind of disappointed. I'm not totally against what they're doing, but just the clean look from when Ray Bourque first broke into the league is such a good look, and I really wish they would bring that back at some point.
Right.
But we can't have nice things.
No.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, I'm with you. It looks like there wasn't much changes, and it's just, we were told there was going to be changes for them, and I can't for life of me figure out what they were. And I don't know if we were just getting smoke blown up our behinds or what, because they said 12 teams were making, changes, not just tweaks, but changes. And I count 1, 2, I guess, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're a little short on that. But whatever. I mean, yeah, one of the teams that said was making changes didn't. Well, that's fine. The jerseys are fine, but I agree with you. They should go back to the 80s, 90s look.
Right. Moving on, Buffalo Sabres. Again, pretty similar look. The collar, kind of got touched up and looks now out of place on this jersey.
Yeah.
But I still think it's a good look. I'm not really sure what to do with the numbers out in the front. But, yeah, not a bad look. But don't worry. When Jack Eichel is sick of them, they will go right into the garbage can.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not as big on the Sabres jerseys. I can't get over that number in front. I just can't. It's so ugly to me. It's so stupid and so out of place. And not that I feel like hockey jerseys should have infinite room for chest patches or anything, but I can't get over that. It calls to me. It taunts me. It mocks me.
Do you hear the cry of the warrior?
Yeah. So, and then we heard they were going to royal blue, and that turned out to be a complete load of BS. I don't know what that even came from.
And it looks like I could be wrong, but it looks like they dumped the gray under the arms of the jerseys.
They did, which is an upgrade.
That is very good.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yep.
Phil Housley and no gray armpits. Hot damn.
Yep.
Calgary Flames. they had a pretty meaningful change. It looks like.
Yeah.
They kind of cleaned up the stuff under the arms.
Yeah.
And I'm missing something else here.
Looks like, I mean, they did make some. It was mostly the underarm stuff. They had a bunch of goofy, loopy piping and some vertical stripes under the arms.
Yeah.
And that looks like that went, and that's basically about it. Everything else actually does look the same as last season. I don't know. That's fine. It's a good-looking jersey.
Right. It's not the throwback alternate
exactly.
that get us going.
Yeah, the Black Sea just doesn't look as good as the white one. That's all there is to it. They need to go back. Ever since they introduced black to their uniforms in the late '90s, I don't know. I don't like them as much.
You didn't like the flaming horse?
Was it a horse or was it a dragon? I thought it was a dragon.
I thought it was a horse.
Oh, maybe it was a horse. They do play in the Saddle Dome. That would make a lot of sense.
Like the head of a horse.
Sure.
Yeah.
Either way,
horse crest.
Okay. Either way, it was terrible.
Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah.
I'm sure I could find one of those in an Aginla.
That would be worth having.
Yes. All right. And on to another team that made a pretty solid change, Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah.
They brought back the warning flags at the bottom of their jersey, and then they threw some black back into the jersey, which to me was a very good move. So I felt like just the red and white jersey they had, or red with white trim, was just a little too bland. And now I think doing this makes it a really good look.
Yeah, I don't know. I could go either way with it. I certainly like the simplicity of when they got rid of the black. But yeah, I think it looks fine enough. They brought back the Hurricane flags, which I think is looks maybe kind of gaudyish, but at least it means something. It's like people that complained about the pine trees on the Timberwolves jerseys. I liked them. I thought it was added personality to the. I think it added personality to the jersey, and same goes for these warning flags on the Canes jerseys. I like that they added that in because it makes it look like it's less of a generic jersey they just slapped their chest logo on.
Maybe they should find a way to incorporate the warning flags into a crest so they can replace the inflamed anus.
Well, they did. Do you remember the one with the hockey stick that had the flag on it?
Yeah, and that lived a short life.
I didn't like those that much, though. I wasn't.
They can find a way to do better.
That's their current alternate jersey, or it was their current, I should say.
They'll probably do better once they move to Quebec.
Fleur-de-lis for everyone.
Chicago Blackhawks, and this is where if you had said yesterday, if you'd have said, Giles, was it possible to ruin the Chicago Blackhawks jersey? I'd have said, nope, there is zero chance. And Adidas Hockey said, hold my beer.
Really?
The collar just is awful.
That's the collar you're
that is not good.
Going off about?
Hideous.
I haven't gotten that close of a... Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's these goofy Adidas collars. I don't know. I guess it is what it is with these collars. This kind of... I mean, that is kind of how the Reebok collars look, though, to be fair to them. That's just kind of just a direct... one-to-one from the Reebok collars to the Adidas collars as far as from a coloring standpoint. So that's all they could do unless
Why do I notice it being so different?
Well, I think just because the collars are different, because these collars are like... It's hard to describe. It's less like a collar, like a collared shirt. Like the Reebok ones, the collars were more like small, but a little bit higher, it feels like. These feel like they look really, really broad. Do you know what I mean? Like they look really, like they really take over the top of the jersey. You know, like
Yeah, that's true.
Like that's the focal point of every jersey is the GD collar.
Well, I guess if the collar is the focal point of the jerseys and we don't have any with 3 stripes going down the side, that's okay.
Yeah, well.
But Colorado Avalanche. They did not have good uniforms. And I could sit here and tell you how bad they were.
Yes.
But they went with a throwback feel to their first jerseys, and that was a good move, in my opinion. I mean, first of all, it's very, very out of my element to toss a compliment about this team.
Yeah.
But I'm not disappointed with what they did. It looks good, and the team next year that are playing in them will be god-awful, but well, at least they'll look better while doing it.
Yeah, I thought about looking at all of the jerseys, and you can really go either way with the Wild jerseys, because the Wild were literally the only team that changed their crest at all, that changed their chest logo, that made any changes whatsoever. Because obviously on the colored jerseys before, they didn't have the primary Wild logo. They had the Roundel logo and the Minnesota script. So depending on what you think of the Wild jersey, because that was one of the bigger redesigns, you could make an argument that the Avalanche were the biggest winners of this redesign.
Yeah.
I know you're not comfortable with that, but honestly, that's my opinion. I mean, because they were, and here's the key, they were so bad before, I think is the big part of that.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, I'm not going to say they're the big winners of the day, because I can't do that. I gave them one compliment. That's enough.
They've hit their decade quota.
Yep.
Yeah, I hear you.
But yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I'm gonna say more nice things, but I don't want to say more nice things. So we're gonna move on to the Blue Jackets.
Sure. This to me, and I don't think it's a hideous jersey. But to me, it's just missed opportunity. Like, I don't get it. You have such a great brand, #brand going with the cannon. How do you not make a primary logo around them? I mean, I know they have their shoulder patch with the cannon on it, but like this logo they have just sucks. Like it's the Ohio flag around a star. What even is that? What is it? There's nothing to Blue Jackets is a Civil War term, which made the cannon, makes the cannon work, but makes it kind of cool because it's actually relevant. And then your logo is a star. It's like, okay, well, yeah, there was stars on, I don't know, on Civil War uniforms, maybe. I don't get it. You've created such a distinct brand with this freaking cannon, and then you just stick with this, lame logo.
Yeah. I'm not disappointed in what Columbus did. I thought maybe they would try and go for some sort of upgrade a little bit, but they didn't. They kind of stuck with what they had, which seems fine to me. I'm kind of with you. Like, go with the cannon logo, but I'm not terribly, appalled by the flag star logo like you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, indeed.
Dallas Stars. As I wrote up in my jersey thoughts, I've never gotten used to the victory green wanking motion color that they've gone with. And, they pretty much went with the same thing again this year. Very little change. Obviously, the change that really flies out at you is, again, the collar. But, that's just becoming an evergreen thing to say about these jerseys.
Yeah, originally I thought this was the collar you were talking about, because this looks a lot like the Blackhawks collar.
Yeah, this is also bad, but
it's the same.
We're running down the list. Yeah. Colors are bad across the board.
Right. It's the same coloration as their previous collar, like I mentioned, but it's just so much more of a focal point now. The collars look so much bigger on these jerseys that it just kind of calls out like, hey, this is a goofy-looking collar. And then, oh yeah, this chest patch with laces that looks like random sprouted chest hair.
Random sprouted chest hair.
There we go. Did you write that down?
I have 2 names for this podcast already in my head. Collard greens and...
I think either's a winner right now.
Crap, what did you just say?
Random sprouted chest hair.
Random sprouted chest hair.
Gotcha.
I gotta quick write these down. Collard greens is the clubhouse leader. It's
pretty good. The Stars, again, they were ones that promised an upgrade too. And Bupkiss, we get a big fat nothing. And not that those jerseys are terrible, they're not. We've talked about this. The jerseys themselves, the templates are okay, outside of the collar now. But that logo, it looks like something you'd get a C+ on in graphic design,
Yeah. It is... I also noted this. I'm still indifferent to these jerseys, and that's probably not a good thing. It's been 3 years of them now, and I'm still sitting here going, blah.
Yeah.
I can't love these. I can't hate these. I still don't know how to feel about them, but maybe that's because I tried to avoid watching them because their defense and goaltending is atrocious.
Hey, but they're fun to watch, though. Lots of goals.
Oh, yeah.
That's what the NHL wants. Lots of goals.
Oh yeah. Okay. Detroit Red Wings breaking into their new stadium next year with essentially the same jerseys.
Yep.
Blah, 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 original 6, blah, blah, blah. Metallic NHL logo.
Yeah. And they were unaffected by the goofy collar swap because they never really used a different colored collar, so good for them.
Yes. All right, we're going to spend a few minutes on this team here.
Oh, God.
The Edmonton Oilers. They went with a primary colored home uniform with blue shoulders, and it has what looks to be white and blue stripes on the arms and at the bottom of the jersey.
Oh.
My goodness.
Don't you hate cats?
Whatever possessed this team to dump the existing blue home uniforms, I'll never understand.
If you have hate in your heart...
Here we are, the Edmonton Oilers, once again making an awful, awful decision.
Yeah. I mentioned this. I was talking with a friend of the podcast, Brett Marshall, earlier today, and those royal blue jerseys with orange trim, orange accents, whatever, look great. Why do they keep replacing those? This is 2 times now they've replaced it with navy blue. I mean, first they replaced it with navy blue and copper, which, it didn't look awful, but it just didn't look the same. You know what I mean? Like, it just wasn't as good. It was like a knockoff version of the Oilers. And so then they go back to royal blue and orange, and everyone's like, hey, awesome. You've got this kid. He wears number 97. He's really good. Kind of like when you had that kid who wore number 99, and he was really good. This draws a lot of parallels. That's really cool. And again, the Oilers, hold my beer. No, we're going to go with orange jerseys. Oh, and we're going to go with navy instead of royal blue. Because we hate our history. I mean, they're like the Ducks at this point.
Yeah,
I just don't get it.
Trying to abandon their history.
Well, it's just like this constant shark jumping they keep doing with their jerseys.
before you know it, we'll be back to kidney stone Cletus again.
Book it.
Yeah, awful. Shame on you, Edmonton. You had a nice thing and you ruined it.
I just, you're going to sell a lot of jerseys anyway. You have Connor freaking McDavid.
Yeah, I was probably going to buy one. Don't tell that to Brian Reynolds.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. If they would have stuck with the damn blue and orange like they used,
All right, moving on before we yell for another 20 minutes about the Edmonton.
I think it's far and away the biggest losers.
Correct.
Far and away the worst. I mean, as far as changes that were made, I think the Ducks jerseys are still uglier. And maybe there's other ones that come close to that. But as far as changes made, I mean, this is so far into the negative, I don't think it even can be computed.
No. The analytics against them are up the charts. Florida Panthers, or Florida HC.
Yeah.
This is pretty similar to what they rolled out with last year. Obviously, you're not going to roll something out last year and make a rampant change to it.
Well, we were told that they were making a change. Like, that they were a name that was on that list. And we were like, well, that's weird. They just came out with new jerseys last year. And so we thought it would be more in the tweak department, and we thought they would continue their stripe all the way around like you should. And they didn't either. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that. Apparently, the Canadians have some kind of trademark on continuing a waist stripe all the way around the jersey.
Yeah. And we hit on this pretty good last year, but
yeah,
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I'm not either. And seeing them live and at a game and all that, it just didn't really change much for me. I don't like the red and the goldish yellow they used. The way they use it with all that white and those stripes across the middle, I don't know. It just doesn't. Yeah, it's very different and not in a good way.
LA Kings, Los Angeles Kings. No, they did not go back to the Forum Blue and Gold or the Chevron Gretzky era.
Mm-hmm.
They pretty much stuck with what they're doing right now.
Yep.
Or what they've worn since, I believe it's been like 2011.
Yeah.
Which is, this is literally no change. Even the collars look good here. I can't even believe that.
No, they actually did change the collars. They were using entirely.
Never mind. I zoomed in.
Yeah, they were using entirely black collars before, which would have served them well. And now the back of their collars are white. Yeah.
On the home uniform, the collar is half white, half black.
They kind of have the Nike Flywire look, to be honest. The Butler look that was so gross on many teams like the Saints and others that I'm forgetting, but. Yeah, these were a direct translation. They didn't make many changes besides that collar. The striping kind of goes, instead of going up towards the neck, it kind of just goes straight across the chest. That looks a little better, but, the collar is obviously the issue, which is, again, it's a theme.
Montreal Canadiens.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just about no change to the uniforms.
Yep.
This is the team of all teams in hockey, and as Dave Schwartz said on the pod a couple shows ago, this is probably the best looking jersey in hockey, and the accented color doesn't exactly help it, but it's still looking good. So I guess sign of a really good jersey is it can survive these Adidas colors.
Yeah, and they just added laces to their jerseys 2 years ago. They didn't have laces for decades. They just added them to their jerseys 2 years ago, and now as we're getting to know, they're sprouting chest hairs. So, yeah, but still looks good. Still the Canadians, still a good jersey. Goofy collar. Moving on.
You know why the Canadians traded PK Subban? He wanted them to go back to no laces. They got angry.
It was all about the laces.
I'm just kidding. But it was probably for some dumb reason like that.
Something like that.
Hey, speaking of PK Subban...
Something that rhymes with lace, I think. Sorry, move on.
Dynamite segue.
Yeah.
The Nashville Predators, Western Conference champs, and the team we were probably most looking forward to besides the Wild for redesign, because their jerseys, which were predominantly shown throughout the playoffs this past season, were straight Reebok Edge puke.
Yeah.
And while that's gone, these jerseys that now exist they're a little bland, but again, when you think of the fact that you had to sit through the Reebok piping up the ass, this is still an upgrade for Nashville.
Yeah.
Maybe a little too much on the yellow.
Yeah.
But when you have gold helmets, you got to stick with it.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe that could save this uniform a little bit, would be navy blue helmets, but yeah, they kind of... I can hear the arguments from people that they lost personality when they took out that piping and whatnot, random blue accents.
There's still Nashville personality on this.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm thinking too. I don't think it's a huge downgrade like everyone... I mean, it's been savaged on Twitter today because it's one of the first ones to get leaked. And it does look rather plain because there isn't much for striping, above the very ends of the arms or the waist. But I'm fine with that. I mean, that piping was awful. I don't understand why people liked it so much. So I'll take it. That it doesn't look good, but it's a yellow jersey. It's gonna be really hard to make that look good.
Yeah. No, your quote tweet of, I believe it was Tony X, who's like, I had no idea this many people liked all that piping.
Yeah.
It was on point.
Weird.
There was a fair percentage of hockey Twitter that was angry at these Predators jerseys, which I was kind of floored.
Yeah, whatever.
But, all right. New Jersey Devils.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of took a lateral move, in my opinion. They dumped the look they've had for just about forever.
Mm-hmm.
They did not change to the red and green, which was seemingly thought of. And it got so weird. I'm trying to look this up here, what their jerseys used to look like in comparison. So they have, I don't know, I'm not big on the black shoulder. I don't know, it doesn't look as clean as what the old ones did.
Mm-hmm.
And then they threw a lot more white onto the arms. And then they dumped the white, black, white at the bottom. They just made one little black stripe. So it's pretty much red all the way down. I would have just stuck with what you had there.
Yeah.
Because this doesn't do much for me. Not that the one that they had really ever did much for me, but...
Right.
They took a kind of a backwards move and somehow got worse.
Yeah, I don't get...
Credit to you, New Jersey.
I don't get why they make changes that are that meaningless. Like, you're going to make, and not to say the Wild, hit out of the park or anything, but the Wild said, hey, we're changing our jerseys, and they changed their jerseys. Like, they wanted to do something different, so they did something different. And from New Jersey, the most radical change we get is some green inside the collar. With their championship years. Ooh.
Blanking motion.
Exactly.
And we missed this part. The Wild were one of the few teams that didn't have anything on the inside of the collar. That was kind of the other big Adidas thing, was throwing this stuff inside the collar, which I guess technically Reebok did start in the last few years of their run, but
yeah.
I don't know, Adidas seemed to crank the unnecessary up a notch.
Yeah, I think I've got an idea centered around that. We'll see.
Yeah, I think I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, you do.
New York Islanders.
Where is the Gordon's Fisherman?
I will never forget that. So no big change here, and honestly, I was worried the Islanders were going to go nuts somehow with this, like they try to when they do new things with jerseys, but they did not. They really stuck with the old school look, which is good. Obviously, the color is the exception to that, but again, you can get your John Tavares Adidas New York Islander jerseys 1 year only.
Yeah, they're really winning here with addition by subtraction, getting rid of those black jerseys.
Well, don't be surprised if those come back. Well, that's to say they'll be in Brooklyn.
I was going to say, I don't know.
Lord knows where they're going to play next year.
They're already playing a preseason game at Nassau this year, so.
Oh, boy.
You didn't hear about that?
No.
Yeah, they're playing one game there.
Why
Old time's sake.
Oh, good. Nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yay. Anyway, New York Rangers. One of my personal favorites. I just favorite jerseys anyway. Really not much has changed. Obviously, the NHL logo on the front is highlighted in red, which looks weird, but otherwise, still a good jersey.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't change much, and that's good.
Ottawa Senators. Who weren't we convinced they were getting a new logo?
Yeah, they in their teaser, and I'd like to look at the teaser again to see where I went wrong, because the teaser showed, like the rest of them, showed the lower left of the jersey, right? And I don't know, maybe it just is some weird thing, but it looked like an arm, and maybe now that I look at it, maybe it is like the ear flap on the Senator's helmet. But yeah, I was convinced that they were getting a new logo, and they kind of need a rebrand at this point, I feel like. And again, we got nothing. We got some subtle changes here and there on striping, and who cares?
I was hoping for a little bit more of a change from Ottawa, but they did not. And the black running up under the arm is not good.
No.
Yikes. It's aggravating. Do better, Ottawa. We're 1 game away from the Cup final. Do better.
Right. Do better.
Philadelphia Flyers.
Mm-hmm.
Really nothing to see here. Same old orange, black and white trim with the white nameplates on the back.
Yep.
Literally nothing has changed.
Nope, they went straight over, which is fine. I don't have an issue with that. I think their jerseys look okay for, would a redesign for them be a little exciting and maybe look a little bit cooler? Possibly, but I don't think...
Yeah, like the teal 90s jerseys that never saw the light.
Oh, God! Those were so bad. God, those were so bad. Those rivaled the Blues' failed thirds.
Yeah, they really did.
They were terrible. God, they were terrible. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm fine with them staying the way they are. It's a good looking jersey. It's nothing that blows you away, but it's a classic.
Pittsburgh Penguins, who did not make a jersey change so that the Philadelphia Flyers could go dumpster diving for old colors. And yeah, I mean, we have no complaints here.
No.
Penguins, we were on board with the Penguins going with this look full time last year.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously maybe some people in these parts don't necessarily care for it because it's from the Lemieux era Penguins who kicked the crap out of the North Stars in the Cup final. But it's a good jersey. Let's not let a 8-0 Game 6 get in the way of that.
Yeah, it is. It's one of the I think one of the best jerseys in the NHL. It's up there. It's certainly rivals much of the original 6, which is saying something.
Right. St. Louis Blues, I didn't think they were going to really do anything with their jerseys, and they made a little bit of a change. They threw some weird thing on the inside of the collar. It looks like they're going to move to Quebec with the fleur-de-lis.
That's the St. Louis
I think
flag.
that's the St. Louis flag.
Yeah, it is. So
but
that's nice.
I'll just keep saying, they're moving to Quebec.
Confirmed.
But they changed the numbers on the back of their uniforms from primarily yellow color to a white color. And I was kind of okay with the yellow over the white. So I'm not big on that move, but it's a small move, so obviously I'll probably get over it really quick, but the Blues jersey didn't seem like something that needed to be messed with. Yeah,
it's kind of flip a coin with the yellow versus white number. I'm with you. I'd maybe prefer yellow, but it's not that big of a deal. The jerseys still look good. They look very similar, so I still like them.
San Jose Sharks. Again, not making a whole lot of changes. They did add some new shoulder patches, some new alternate logos, some more modern looking sharks. And then on the inside of the collar, they put "This is Sharks territory."
Wow, they steal that from the Twins?
That's literally what they put.
Stupid.
That is... Why? That's such a generic thing to do. Oh, God. So earlier in the show, I tweeted from the podcast Twitter account, and I said preview of us talking about the Oilers jersey, and it is just a gif of Dwight Schrute screaming. And then we got followed by an Edmonton accounting firm.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, so apparently somebody in Edmonton's coming after us. But, alright. We gotta get through the rest of this, because Elliot Friedman just posted a 30 Thoughts, and there's always good stuff in there.
Oh boy.
Tampa Bay Lightning. Really, again, no change. A good thing from alternates going out the window for this year, at least, is they dumped the black Bolts jersey, which was just not good.
No.
It looked too much of an LA Kings knockoff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is a good look for Tampa Bay. So, yeah. Any Tampa Bay thoughts or
no? They pretty much directly transferred over too. So, yeah, nothing there. It looks like they dumped lacing as the one change, which in this instance probably not a bad idea.
Toronto Maple Leafs. They have always been one of my favorite jerseys in hockey. They have probably one of the best jersey history in hockey.
Mm-hmm.
And they had their whole big, rebrand last year. So really no changes to the jersey this year.
Right.
Except on the inside of the collar, they have honor with the OUR spelling. Damn Canadians. Pride and courage.
Okay, well.
So that's
just
I don't know what that means, but good for you. Keep on doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, I forgot to open a new tab. Vancouver Canucks.
Mm-hmm.
Again, pretty similar. They really didn't do anything, as I jokingly noted in my my thoughts on them for the article was, when does the flying skate come back?
Oh, that was my comment. I'll change it.
We'll
keep it.
Share the same comment.
Yeah, we'll keep it. Really drive home the point.
Yeah.
All right.
We're not gonna. I don't think anybody's gonna throw us in jail for that.
No, you're right.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, do people like this color scheme, the blue-green color scheme? Like, I don't know. I thought the black and yellow was maybe a little bit better, but maybe that was just too 90s for everyone.
Yeah, I don't know. The weird thing is they keep flip-flopping. Like, they were blue and green when they joined the league, and then they went with two very, very different, or even three, two very, very different of the red and yellow, and then they went to, like, the black and red, or the black, red, and yellow, and then they went to the Shamu logo but kept the black and red, and then they went to the blue and green with the Shamu logo. So it's just very much like some kind of identity crisis going on in Vancouver that's been going on for like 30, 40 years, and they just really need to let it go. Pick something. Pick an identity.
I mean, did you see Vancouver when they lost the Stanley Cup final? There's definitely an identity crisis there.
Well, the players are they're changing the jerseys so that players don't get recognized during the riots.
Right. Washington Capitals.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of them before.
No.
You heard of them?
No.
Oh, okay. They, disappointingly, did not change really anything. Which, again, disappointing when you had been wearing the throwbacks for the last 3 years and just a much better looking set, but...
Yeah. What I don't get is they sent it out, and we saw this, they sent out a poll to their season ticket holders about their jerseys.
Yeah, maybe trying to get us off the trail.
Well, why do that, though? That's just going to piss people off. Like, and you know damn well people voted for those throwbacks.
Think about who you're talking about. It's the Washington Capitals. They're good to let you down.
And the NHL by extension, but I can't imagine that. I mean, I make fun of fan bases more than the next guy, but I can't imagine all of their season ticket holders were like, yeah, those throwbacks, they got to go. Get rid of the throwbacks. We're going to keep these newfangled ones around because we really like them. They really look sharp. And it's not a terrible jersey. I don't think it's awful, but the throwbacks are just so much better.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
All right. Winnipeg Jets. Again, they did not really make a change, and they haven't had an alternate. Like, they wore their Stadium Series jersey a couple times this past year, but I got to think that maybe starting next year when the NHL lets teams roll out alternates, that the Jets will have some kind of an alternate, but I don't know, they just don't seem to be too quick to rush into anything, and I'm not saying their jerseys are bad, but they're not really doing a whole lot for me. Like, I think their crest is good, but I just think the jerseys can be better.
Yeah, they really didn't do much to shatter the boring Canadian stereotype with these jerseys. So,
bring back the Solani era jerseys.
We both know that's not happening, but yeah, that would be great.
We can only hope.
Mm-hmm.
Just let us run the jersey department in this league, and we will make jerseys great again.
Yes, we would.
And then the last team on the list, and the new team on the block, the Vegas Golden Knights.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, they were the first team to get unveiled. They had about 5 minutes on everyone, and they got a gray, black, gold color combo going here. And then the thing that kind of gets me here is they threw in a little bit of red on the arms under the black and the gold, which it takes a little bit away from that for me. Like, I'm not really big on it. Like, if it's just the black and gold, I'm totally fine with it. But the red just... why? I don't know why that's there. Take it away.
Yeah, I think the jerseys would be better off without it. And I understand if red is part of your color scheme, but it doesn't appear anywhere else on the jersey. you have one, like, I would say maybe not even inch thick stripe around the elbows of red. The inside of the collar is red. That's it. And so it's like even less red than the wild feature, which is saying something on these green jerseys. But it does look very out of place. It looks like, with youth hockey or even soccer, you'll have a captain, they'll wear an armband, and it just looks like a goofy, out of place, look at me armband.
What does do we even know what the red stands for? Because I'm sure there's some garbage meaning for what the red means. The red stands for the blood of all the warriors the Knights have killed.
Stands for all of the spilled Bloody Marys in Las Vegas. Yeah, I'm sure it's passion or something stupid like that. Because that's what red stands for with everything. It looks very out of place. Now, just imagine, I'm looking at, they tweeted out the home and away jerseys today from the Golden Knights account. And just imagining them without the red, and they don't look half bad.
No.
But that red just like, it sticks out like a sore thumb, not to, that's just very, very fitting.
Which jersey do you like better, the road or away? Or road or home, sorry.
Yeah, I'm always more of a dark jersey kind of guy. I don't prefer a lot of the white jerseys.
Wait a minute. Let me get this right.
Mm-hmm.
You.
Yes.
Ben Remington.
Yeah.
Who prefers white jerseys at home.
Yes.
To be a dark jersey guy.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep. I said it. Yeah,
so we're on the same page.
So I prefer the colored jerseys for Vegas, at least. The other teams may be different, but yeah, that red stripe just has. It looks like it's uninvited. What do you think?
A lot of other things in Vegas, uninvited.
Regrettable, even. Maybe the jerseys had a really crazy night and woke up and the stripe was just there. And they're like, well, this is my life now.
You know what? I gotta look this up. Somebody had the tweet of the day, and it was a tie-in to the Golden Knights in Las Vegas. And I retweeted it, so I'm gonna quick try and find it here. But
sure.
My feed is just full of jerseys.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it might take
it's...
me a minute. But I don't want to butcher this joke either.
No,
it was a good joke.
Yeah, and I think they didn't get off on the right foot with that logo either. I'm not wild about it. I don't know. It all seems rather generic. The thing I like the most about it is the shoulder patch, and the way that fits into the Welcome to Las Vegas sign, which is obviously very famous and noticeable and distinct. I like the shoulder patch, and I like it. It has more personality than the logo itself. The logo itself, I don't know. I mean, I get that it's a V and that it's the Knights, but it feels clip artish to me.
Yeah, and tomorrow night we'll get to see some actual hockey players in those uniforms.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe Marc-Andre Fleury will fly in.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be there as soon as he's done signing all the autographs in Pittsburgh that he humanly can.
Yeah.
But the joke I was referencing earlier was one of the hockey writers up in Canada was tweeting George McPhee's press conference earlier today and basically saying that McPhee said that some of the picks are going to be announced as traded the very next day after tomorrow night's expansion draft.
Mm-hmm.
And so another guy quote tweets it and he says, "Go figure, a bunch of one night stands in Las Vegas."
That's right. I retweeted that too. That was tremendous.
It did not go through hockey Twitter like I had hoped it would.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. I'll be the first to tell you, sometimes good jokes just fall flat.
I know that feeling. I live with somebody who does that 50 times a day. All right. that does it for the jerseys. Any final thoughts?
Well, just going back to the Wild jersey, this is a Wild podcast after all. I think we just need to give it some time. I don't know. Are you glad or disappointed that the white jerseys are essentially the same?
Personally, I'm glad because I got a lot of white jerseys in the closet. But I guess I am a little bit disappointed maybe that they weren't going to just make them, an opposite of the home jerseys, which I've been hoping for. It seems weird that the Wild are going on, almost 10 years of not having the same home and road jersey.
Well, at least now they have the same logo.
Yeah.
It's very weird to me that they...
And that's not to say that the script Minnesota Wild crest that they had was bad.
No, not at all.
It was good for an alternate.
Right. Yep.
So.
Agreed. So, I don't know. It's hard not to be disappointed right now because we had hyped ourselves up and all that, but I don't know. At the same time, if you showed us this 6 months ago, I think we'd be pretty happy with it. There could have been a lot of worse things to happen to this jersey.
3 stripes.
Exactly. Also, a notable absence from tonight's jersey debuts is 3 stripes basically anywhere but the small Adidas logo on the back of the neck.
We spent an entire year worrying about those being on hockey jerseys, and not a one.
Yeah, I said it was going to be an all or nothing thing, and considering some of the teams, you couldn't possibly add 3 stripes up the side without murder being involved. I just didn't think it was going to happen to only some teams.
Yeah. All right, that can probably do it for us on our special show here. Thank you for following along, if you so did.
Mm-hmm.
We will be back on Sunday. We're going to wrap up the expansion draft, the NHL draft, and whatever else might happen in between. But you'll get all your wrap-ups on that from us. We'll have probably quite a bit to go through. But yeah, we certainly had fun doing this special show. This is certainly on brand for us.
Yeah, indeed.
By the way, if you didn't catch us on the Cold Omaha Staff podcast earlier today, Tuesday, check that out. Just go to coldomaha.com.
Yep.
You can find it under podcasts. We actually had a pretty good expansion draft discussion, and then we went into other sports, which we didn't have much to say about. But you can find Ben and I on Twitter at Ben Remington, at Giles Farrell. Find the podcast on Twitter at GATG Wild Podcast. You can also find our podcast now on Facebook, and I just realized I should have put this at the beginning of the show. But we have a Facebook at GATG Wild Podcast. Basically the same as our Twitter handles, facebook.com/GATG Wild Podcast. Apparently, you can market yourself on that social media site, which, I don't know, I seem to hate these days, but we're going to give it a whirl. You can find the podcast on Stitcher, Libsyn, and iTunes. Throw us an iTunes rating if you would be so kind. And you can find all of our shows since January on coldomaha.com. So again, that will wrap it up for us. Thank you for listening, and we will be back with you on Sunday.
Later.
St. Paul, Minnesota. Minneapolis, Minnesota.
We are ducks, and ducks fly together.
That's not resiliency. You're making it sound like we're good. That's all. I'm done.